Welcome back, players. I'm Jack with 36 Cancel, and this is Coco the Weiss Cat. It's getting cold outside, the leaves have almost fallen totally from the trees, and Turkey Day has come and gone. So, late as it is, it's time for the Weiss Schwarz fall update. We'll talk about what's going on in the Weiss Schwarz world, and then move on to things to come. So sit back, grab some hot cocoa, and let's fall into the world of Weiss. Yeah, so look, not much is happening. COVID is spiking all over the United States again and is on the rise in many European countries. My family even decided not to gather for Thanksgiving because, frankly, it's too dangerous. And many locals in a lot of places have shut down again. The game store I usually play Weiss at has gone down to a tournament every 2 weeks, and there are strict limitations with distancing and number of people allowed in the store at once. Even though several vaccines might be on the horizon, for now, COVID pretty much has shut down most of what we'd expect from the fall circuit. Even Bushiroad Remote Fight, recognizing the proliferation of many other Weiss Discord servers, stopped doing weekly Bushi battles and just transitioned to doing showcases. During the month of October, the Remote Fight Discord hosted player versus staff battles, where players could unlock spoilers from upcoming sets should they win the battles against the Bushi staff. Some of the live streams were cool, and it was a very nice way to keep the player base engaged. Much of that wasn't focused on the English game though, so I didn't participate much. And on the website, we still see the last big tournament that Bushi really got behind was Fall Fest 2019. I've got nothing new to talk about here. Now, Bushi has been engaging the community in other ways. Like the Bushiroad Player Survey, I gave some feedback on what sets I wanted to see titles for, which I may make a video on in the near future. Bushi has also been holding submission-based contests for players to win prizes from the new English flagship title, Adventure Time, which we'll talk about in a hot second. Even when it comes to the Shop Tournament Challenge circuit, which was supposed to pick back up in the fall, many of the actual events were cancelled, and some stores never even received their promos. Hell, I still haven't been able to trade in my Priestess promos for the real deal. I'm hoping Bushiroad gives players more opportunities to get their cards later, or I might have these forever. So thanks to COVID making a very unwelcome comeback, fall has been cold and quiet for Weiss Schwarz. But that doesn't mean the flow of new sets has paused. In fact, since some of the initial delays in summer, all the new Weiss sets have been released on schedule, which is no small miracle considering everything going on. Mad props to Bushi for getting the logistics down even in the midst of a pandemic. And my LGS and others like it are selling and shipping this product all over the world, which is really helping them keep their doors open. I know I've bought my fair share from them recently. So let's talk about what's dropped since summer. September, October, and November all had some pretty big release titles. In September, it was Tomb of Nazarick, since Overlord was trademarked by a shitty World War II movie. I guess they were afraid the boomers who googled Overlord would find weeb shit. Not that they wouldn't anyway. Fuck you, J.J. Abrams. Anyway, I've talked to death about Nazarick, no pun intended. I've done 3 deck techs on it, posted plenty of games, and I even blinged out my favorite deck. So there's not much else I can say on it at this point. But just to summarize for this video, Nazarick is an older set from JP, and they waited way too long to bring it over to English. It does lack some of the more modern power and comforts we've come to expect from top tier decks, but it's still fun as hell to play and absolutely gorgeous to collect. Standby Overlord is also a super fun budget deck that, as of now, can be put together for well under $100 if you buy smart. All in all, while it's not meta-breaking, I'm super glad to see it finally hit English, even if it was a little bit late. Something that was a little more timely though was Konosuba Legend of Crimson. Konosuba got yet another set dropped in English only months after the movie came over to the West. It featured 3 totally new toolkits with level 1 and level 3 combos for each heroine. It also brought Sylvia her very own deck, which I'll be teching later. While Aqua and Darkness got very enjoyable new tools to blend together with their old kits, the Megumin stuff had limited interaction with the already strong red and blue Konosuba deck. While it's a very good set of cards, the new Megumin and Union toolkit wasn't as favored by players nearly as much as the existing shell. And while the SSPs that were introduced still demand commanding prices, the rest of the red kit in Crimson is still widely available for way less than the stuff that competes for slots in the existing deck. That said, the new Megumin and Union deck that forms from this new set of cards is anything but weak, and if you have any love for any of them, I'd highly recommend picking up the cards before the shops change their mind on how much they should be charging. And finally, the long-awaited English flagship title Adventure Time hit the scene. It had an amazingly popular release, and a lot of people ended up trying it out. The set breaks down into 2 basic kits, which are centered around Jake and Finn in yellow, and Marceline and Bubblegum in red. The Ice King and the Nightosphere caster in blue and can either stand alone to become a meme deck, or be mixed with red for an Ice King and Marceline combo. The set features a double choice and double standby kit in a single expansion, which is pretty wild, and it's definitely designed with flavor and power in mind. Adventure Time has some awesome combos, cool mechanics including memory gimmicks, and a powerful level 3 lineup. If you've got any nostalgia for Adventure Time, I'd highly suggest trying it out. You won't be disappointed, and all I've heard from people is that it was well worth the wait. I'm very excited to see what this set will do in the coming months, especially when we vax COVID out of the game. Anyway, while there aren't too many sets that have dropped since summer, there's a ton to talk about on the horizon, including something totally ironic and kind of hilarious, but more on that later. First, let's talk about the stuff with slated dates. On December 18th, Mob Psycho 100 is going to hit the Weiss stage. It's a popular show that has the same legend behind it as One Punch Man. And from the spoilers we see so far, it's shaping up to be a really neat set with mechanics that are super in flavor with the Esper abilities in the show. This is another one of those titles that's got a lot of popularity in the West, and it's a strong title for Bushiroad to add to their English line. If you know anyone who likes the show but hasn't been enlightened to the good word of Weiss yet, buy them a trial deck for Christmas. I'm serious, do it. Next up, and starting 2021 right, Fate Babylonia is dropping the 22nd of January, and no matter what's happened in 2020, that's an amazing way to ring in the new year. Babylonia is a totally standalone set, so anyone who wants to show some love for the amazing anime, or one of the best parts of the mobile game, doesn't have to invest in those notoriously hard to find Fate cards from previous sets. It also marks Fate's third expansion that isn't legal to combine with the main body of Fate, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. And of course, being its standalone, it features a trial deck plus with a cute MASH SP. MASH also has an SP in the main set as well as an SEC version. If you're going to simp for Eggplant Kohai, this one is going to be a wad killer. Other than her though, the set has a kit for Ishtar and Ereshkigal and Gilgamesh and Enkidu. It's a neat set that has some amazing art, and it's Fate, so you know it's going to be popular, so I'd get those pre-orders in. Moving right along, Bushi is fully embracing winter with another expansion for a huge title. ReZero's Extra Booster from the Frozen Bond arc is coming to English, and this is a little different than the ReZero stuff we've seen in the past. It's obviously a smaller set being an Extra Booster and only sports 5 double rares, but it's bringing something the title hasn't seen before, the color green. Amelia and Puck all have totally new green cards in this Extra Booster, and they're the main focus of the set. 90% of the cards are green, and what's more, they're legal to play with any card that starts with RZ, so they can be mixed with either the base ReZero stuff and Memory Snow. This has a lot of interesting implications for both sides of ReZero, and I'm very interested to see more as we get closer to the release date. Now, the next one is kind of a funny story. So, Magia Record has 2 sets in Japan that Bushiroad wants to bring over to English. On February 26th, 2021, the Magia Record set based off the mobile game will drop, and then likely 2 months later or so, the set based on the anime Magia Record will follow. Both of these sets will really breathe some life back into Madoka, and are totally legal to play with the existing expansions. Just one problem. The English mobile game for Magia Record is dead. Yeah, it cut off service on the 20th of October 2020. I don't know how many actual players of the game who live in the West played the English game or the Japanese game, but either way, Bushiroad really big chungus themselves here. Even if the game is still active in Japan, this is a huge kick in the nuts to anyone who wanted to see Magia Record get more Western attention. Real talk, it's impossible to tell what actually happened here. We'll never know if Bushiroad just misunderstood Magia Record's potential in the West, whether they were just misled during the collaboration agreements, or if they knew and just decided to release the sets in English anyway to bolster the existing expansions. Either way, Madoka was one of the first sets to release in English Weiss, and the Rebellion set that came later didn't do much to bring it back to the forefront, so I'm really glad that the title is getting more love, and I hope to see it across the table more in the future. But looking forward, there's little doubt that this next title is in any danger of fading from the public eye anytime soon. On March 26th, 2021, the Date A Live set drops in English, and Date A Live is an absolute giant, both in Weiss and in the anime world. In Japan, it's long been considered a top-tier set, and it's got some outrageous combos, especially at level 3. The set also has some of the most sought-after SEC cards, including the infamous level 3 Kurumi. Just have a look at this monster. 9500 gets plus 1k if you have 2 or more other characters and happens to be a healer. Her climax combo is a cryptic command, where on attack you can choose one of 3 actions. Either 1, put all your opponent's stock into their waiting room and then put equal cards from the top of their deck into their stock. 2, choose 3 cards in your opponent's waiting room and return them to their deck. Or 3, pitch 2 cards and deal 3 damage. Because that's fair, right? Yeah, get ready for that, and several other cards that are just as outrageously busted. 2 more notes on this set though. First, the Date A Live cards from the Fantasia Bunko set are totally legal to play with this set when it comes out. And second, while Date A Live was hit recently with restrictions in Japan, Bushiroad made a statement that the offending cards will not be omitted or restricted in the English release, but that the situation will be monitored closely, whatever that means. Regardless, people are super hyped about this release, and I have no doubt it's going to make a huge splash in the community and in the metagame. Now, this is where the foresight with actual release dates ends. We don't know the order for the next few sets that are slated for release sometime after March of 2021, but a few exciting announcements have been made. Obviously, the Magia Record anime set is coming out sometime after Day Live, and is likely going to be the following release, so Madoka will have 4 expansions to work with when that set drops, and unlike Magia Record's mobile game, you can still buy and download that anime, so at least you can enjoy the source material before the set drops. Next, we have yet another Fate expansion coming, the third part of the Heaven's Feel movie, Spring Song, just released here in the US, and in celebration of that, Heaven's Feel Volume 2, based on Lust Butterfly, will follow in the Weiss Schwarz world, and it will likely be legal to combine with the already super strong Fate main series. Obviously though, it's Fate, and it's going to be extremely popular and likely very powerful, so watch for those pre-order dates. Next though, we've got something pretty different than the stuff we've seen up until now. Bofuri, I Don't Want to Get Hurt, so I'll max out my defense, is getting a Weiss set. The show is a lighthearted and well-produced VR-based isekai. It's got an overpowered main character forward with a gamer girl guild, but unlike other isekai mains, she's a total ditz, and there are no real big bads or overarching villains that she needs to save the world from, at least to my understanding. I haven't watched it, but it was widely well received and has a second season confirmed. It was originally slated for late 2020, but, COVID. Nonetheless, it is confirmed at this point to be in production, and the consensus seems to be that it's releasing soon. So if you like isekais and some gamer girl antics, Bofuri is probably going to be a set for you, and I imagine there'll be at least one character with bodyguard if you're into that kind of thing. Finally, Bushiroad announced another Weiss side romance hit, Kaguya-sama Love is War. This is another more recent show that was extremely well received by the audience it marketed to and became a staple in the romance and comedy genre. People I know are really excited to see this getting a Weiss set, and it brings some awesome variety to the new titles lining up for next year. Not much is known about how the set will shape up, but I'm pretty sure it'll feature some of the trademark art and witty style that Kaguya is so famous for. And with that, the rest of what's coming in 2021, whether it be new titles, the upcoming metagame, or whether we'll finally get back to holding normal tournaments, is anyone's guess. God, I hope we do. Fall hasn't been too exciting for Weiss, that much is true, but there's a lot to look forward to on the horizon. So both Coco and I give all of you players watching our best holiday wishes and hope you have a safe, healthy, and awesome new year. And as always, thanks for watching. Peace.